And now for something completely different.
Hey guys, Rain here. I just wanted to make a video today with this cutie. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that last clip and had a good fun little laugh with that. I've actually been thinking about that, I don't know, popped into my head a couple of weeks ago and I decided, and then again a couple of times this week, and I finally decided to do it. It's partially dedicated to Shannon over at Love Me Some Reborn Babies. Shannon put up a video today that her heart was hurting because of, an excessive number of thumbs down on a giveaway video she was doing, which seems so funny to me that people would thumbs down a video where you're giving something away out of the kindness of your heart, unless you didn't win. But with that said, I get thumbs down on almost every video, and I've never really gotten a very, very nasty comment. There have been a couple of negative things, or what some people might think are negative, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure that it will if I keep making videos. And in fact, saying all of these, balanced ways that I would handle it, it's probably in provoking some people to do it just to see how I'll react. But I wanted to talk about it a little bit, just a little bit. I'm here with Brewster, by the way. She is in this really cute Peter Rabbit sleeper still from the other day. It's cold and rainy out today, and so she's extra cozy. Turn her a little bit so that you can see her. I've imagined this like full gamut of emotion that I could go through, and like sort of in that animated thing that you just watched. And in reality, this platform, YouTube, was definitely set up to allow for this. So there's a thumbs down button. I remember that there wasn't a thumbs down button on Facebook, and people were talking about You want to lay down, buddy? Good boy. I remember people talking about there being a thumbs down video on Facebook, and a thumbs down button on Facebook, and whether that was good or that was bad. And I know there's different emotions. There's still not a thumbs down. In iMessage, there is a thumbs down. You can like or dislike conversational things. That's more of a, oh, that's bad, I would imagine, than some stranger saying they don't like your contribution. My understanding of why that would be on YouTube would be that you're creating content and they're evaluating that content for advertisement. So, but also they're giving a platform for people to express their like or their dislike. So, I mean, it really is, if you trace it back to who's responsible for allowing this negativity, then really it is the social platform. It just comes with the territory. There have been plenty of videos that have talked about why people do it. I don't necessarily need to rehash that. I think there's been covered the concept or the idea, the reality that there are trolls, there are people who aren't even a part of the community that go around and do this. There may be people within the community that do it to each other. There are young people that do it just for fun. There's a lot of people that will hop on and dislike and go, they haven't watched anything, they're just doing it to you or to everybody, I don't know. The other thing though that this plays on is there is a part of the psyche that is, they've actually done studies on it, that gets addicted to likes, that gets addicted to views, that gets addicted to positive feedback and activity on social media. The pleasure centers of the brain are stimulated when you scroll, when you're scrolling through your screen, or if you use your thumb. And when you're seeing likes go up, up, up. And I'll tell you, I do monitor on Instagram also. I do check and see, like, which ones do people like? And I definitely can feel that. And I'm not even sure, what does that do for me if, 60 people like one photo and 15 people like another photo? I can't explain to you what that does for me, but I can tell you that it is immeasurable, that it does something for us in the brain. And when we're operating in a community where we're getting our social feedback through thumbs up or thumbs down, through comments, through views, through likes, we're kind of set up to feel disappointment, to feel disliked, or to feel popular, or to be looking for that feedback. And then on top of it, biologically, psychologically, we get a hit every time we get a positive thing. So when we're not getting that, then especially if we've been feeding it, the more that you feed something, the more that you train your brain to do something, the more like addicted you become to it. So when you're not getting that, you're going to feel poorly. And also, you're not getting you're training yourself to look for a certain kind of feedback. So when you're not getting that feedback, then, you're going to feel disenchanted, disconnected, disliked. And it really is, or can be, a physical thing, a chemical thing in the body. So it's really not that surprising. The other piece of it, though, the other point of it, and the other point of my little intro there, in my opinion anyway, is that just because you might have an emotional reaction, I don't think that the point is, or the expectation is, that you shouldn't feel or you won't feel anything if somebody attacks you or says something negative, or just sort of being snarky or a troll or thumbs down in your video, or if nobody's watching your stuff, or like I finally did a tag, and there were questions that I thought were really cool, that I thought people, I would love to know about people, and like nobody has done the tag. And there's certainly a part of me that wants to feel something about that, or wants to think about that or dwell on that. So it's not that there's not going to be a reaction necessarily, but it's about a choice of what we want to feed, what we want to allow ourselves to dwell on and react to, and be aware of and observe our reactions, and then choose if we're going to follow that, right? You might feel hurt up front, then defensive, then angry, then like lashing out. And all of those are options. It's just like meditation. This is a perfect example. It's just like meditation. So in meditation, for a huge part of my life, and for a lot of people, we feel like, I can't do it because I just can't stop thinking and my mind keeps wandering. And I saw this great shirt, and it says, meditation, it's not what you think. And there are a lot of quotes even about it's not that the thoughts, that you stop your mind. It's not that you stop thinking. What's going on? Tumo got startled. it's not that you stop thinking or that you don't have any thoughts anymore. It's that you no longer identify with the thoughts, right? You're not so in it that you feel like that's you. You recognize, you consciously become aware that you are the observer. You are observing that the thoughts are happening, but you are outside of the thoughts. And so just like you can hear a truck go by, you can feel a breeze on your face, you can smell a cake baking, all of these things that come through, the thoughts come through and you see them come and you see them go, but you don't attach to them, right? Or even if you say that, like, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite the fear. It's courage, it's bravery. So, and we really can, like, teach ourselves or train ourselves not to be affected by negativity from other people. And I know I've told this story before, and even off of YouTube, I've told it a million times more than I've told it here, but I'm going to tell it again. There's an opera singer, and she came out and she gave this performance, and it was a beautiful performance, but she knew that it wasn't perfect. And when she finished singing, the crowd erupted and jumped to their feet, and everybody's cheering for her. And she's looking at the crowd, but she's looking for something. She's looking and she's searching and she's looking, and way up in the balcony, she sees it. There's a man who is not standing for her. And she thought, there, see, he heard that note that I missed. And she felt sad and she felt satisfied. So later she was mingling out in the lobby with the guests, and she saw that man and she noticed that he was in a wheelchair. And so she realized that he was handicapped, and the imagery there is that sometimes when people don't come stand up and cheer you on, it doesn't have anything to do with your poor performance or with you. It's that they can't, because they are injured or handicapped in some way. Now, it may manifest in targeted nastiness or intentional withholding of positive energy, but a lot of times those people are in far more pain, or they're so concerned with their own discomfort or unhappiness that it really has nothing to do with you. Like, they don't see you. You're just something, you know what I mean? So it's good to remember that. Anyway, you're not alone, Shannon. A lot of us get the thumbs down, and a lot of us feel, I'm sure, hurt by that or hurt by negative comments. And I see varying degrees of people being able to ignore negative things or ugly things or pestering things, and some people need to call it out, and some people just ignore it, and you just don't even know that they get those comments because they're gone before you see them. However you react, there's certainly no criticism or judgment here on that. But I do want to say that we're kind of set up. We're set up for becoming attached to it, becoming affected by it, by feeding off of it. We're in a forum where our success is measured based on response, so it's no wonder. And then we become wired for it, so it's no surprise. And it's a practice. It's a lifelong practice. I think maybe someday we'll get there where we really aren't affected by it, but yeah, until then, I mean, some of it's fake it till you make it, I guess, but focus on the positive. That's what I'm going to say to myself and to everyone. You know, energy goes where attention, energy flows where attention goes. And you could have, they did a study where with a husband and a wife, and they had the husband focus for 1 week on all of the things that he didn't like, the way that she chewed with her mouth open, the way that she said too many times, the way that she folded the laundry, whatever it is, the way she breathed through her mouth, whatever the things were. And but they didn't tell her that. And they measured it, and then the next week they had him focus on all the things that he loved about her. Her thoughtful nature, her smile, the way that she was giving, the way that she laughed a lot, the way that she smiled a lot. And they measured those things, and they found that at the end of each week, she had actually done more of the things that he had focused on. During the week he focused on the negative, they found that she started doing more of those behaviors. She didn't know he was looking at that. And the more that he focused on the positive things, the more she did that. Part of that is it's the more that the observer saw them, right? Because they're focusing on them. And part of it is that energy is going where you're putting your attention. I really feel like two people could be in exactly the same situation and recount it and experience it entirely differently because of the filters through which they see it. So, you know, if I were to focus on the things that I don't have and the things that I'm unhappy about all the time, I definitely could really go down that spiral. And if I were to focus on the things that I love that I have, and enjoying things, then I'd certainly shape a much happier day and a much happier life. And it's focus, it's awareness, so it is really like, it's definitely a choice, but it's also a practice. I practice being grateful. I practice being happy. I practice being positive. I practice those things. I practice being kind. I practice being non-judgmental. It's not a permanent or an overnight state of being. It's a practice. So I practice focusing on the happy, positive things. So I'm just really enjoying this girl. Really, really loving her. You guys can see a little bit about how big she is. I know she can look big in photographs, but she really is. She's a little newborn size. Her new dress came in. You know what? I'll hold that up. Her new dress came in from, let's see, Clementine Clothery. That's what it is. This is what I picked out for her. And I fell in love with this dress. I fell in love with the artist, or the clothes maker, her photographs of the little girls in these dresses, and I commented to her, I really wish you made this in newborn. And the smallest that she made it in was 6 to 9 months. And she offered to create a pattern and create a way by not lining the inside with the thicker lining, to make me a newborn size for Annie. So we're not going to change her just yet. She just got into these jammies, but I think the colors are going to look very nice on her. And the leaves are they're kind of like a sage color. There's a slight hint of the blue family, so we might try those vintage booties on her. We're going to see. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by and listening to this video. If you have comments or things you'd like to add, please feel free to leave those below. So thank you guys so much for coming by and watching. If you have any comments or things that you'd like to add to the conversation, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. As always, I look forward to hearing from you. If you do make videos, I would love to catch up on your videos. Until next time, though, I hope you have a beautiful night and a beautiful rest of the week, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.